Good evening and welcome to the channel. Today I was thinking about something that came across my path during my work, and one of it is that how difficult it is to accept others as they are. It's a very difficult thing. If you think of it, there is no way that you could just make someone do what you want. It's very difficult. So, in order for us to understand another person's situation, we would need to be inside them. We would need to understand them. And that's where it all starts. Because I believe that it is very, very difficult to do. Because it's easy to picture yourself in a situation and the things you might have done or you could do. Because you have the power. You have the power to do whatever you want to do in any situation. But it is absolutely not the same for you to think that someone is going to do exactly that in the same situation, because you are not them. So, in a manner of speaking, there is no way you can actually control that, because you don't have control, you don't have the power. You have to understand that you can never directly change another person's behavior. So your expectations for what they would do has to actually change, because by doing that, you can learn to accept them. I heard about a story about that biblical, which says that you cannot walk the steps of another person, because it takes only that person to walk that way. There's even a German song by Xavier Nadu which says, no one can walk another person's steps. They have to do it by themselves. So unless otherwise in the future I can transport myself or transpose myself to go in someone else's body and then makes them do the actions I want them to do, that is something that will never happen. Sorry, Jomatek, but I cannot imagine us being able to do that. Again, it won't be you doing that. It will be the body of another person just doing what you want, but it won't be them doing that action. Because there's a differentiation here of who a person is, because a person is an entity on its own, and you are also another entity. So there has to be a situation where we have to understand each other. We have to learn something here. We have to learn that you cannot be judgmental of how others are acting in situations, because you could have done it in a different way. Yes. But it's not everyone able to do that. I remember in Star Trek where you have the Borg, where the Borg has one voice, and this one voice is in unison, and therefore you cannot do what you particularly want. You have to do what the collection wants you to do. But accepting others is different. Accepting others means we should learn to accept them as they are. It means that we have to let go of our own desires of how we want them to act in any particular way or particular situation, particular circumstance, because everyone is different from everyone. We could say that if we are about to accept each other, if we are about to control each other, there is a big difference of how our actions will be, because one will be we are controlling each one, so or everyone, and we become robots, which is what we are not. We are not programmed that way. It's our human nature to act in certain ways, not how others feel we should act. Of course, there are other things like how can I say? There are other things like cultural differences, for example, which make people act in certain situations. But it doesn't mean at home or individually they do exactly the action you want them to do. It can be in a certain fashion because of cultural reasons, but it will never be something that will be exactly how you want it to be. Because even yourself, you have the difficulty of doing things the way you want to be, because situations will force you to do something else. Therefore, understanding each other and letting our judgmental uh, restrictions aside can let us understand the other person. All of us are different. But that's what makes us very, very, very interesting. It makes life interesting because we are different. We are a diverse, culturally big planet. We need that diversity. It's good to appreciate other people for who they are, not who they might be, because if you do that, we'll become just a monoclone. I don't know, does that work? A clone and mono together, monoclone. Something that can all act in a certain way because you have no other way to act. But I think that's not being human. So accept people for who they are, treat them with respect, and help them grow into their best selves. This is what we are looking for. I believe this is the message of the day. The best of who you are is what I am accepting. The best of who I can be is what I think you should be accepting. We are different, but we are human. It's good to put aside judgment and accept each other as who we are. This is when we become productive. This is when we have the best lifestyle. This is when we become human. That's all I have to say today. If you think I have said something that triggers you, please put a comment below. Let me hear what you have to say. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And for my other videos about productivity and procrastination, have a look on top here. You will hear more things I am talking about, I am learning about, and help me with this journey to find out who we are, being productive, being successful, having the best of our life, having freedom.